think we're good.
We're ready? We're good? We're started?
Should be.
Okay. Welcome, everybody, to the 7th edition of the Juicebox Squadcast. I am one of your hosts, Aaron, and I'm joined today by one of my other hosts and my co-host from the Juicebox Squad. I'm joined by Adam and Kyle.
Hello. Adam died.
Hello. No, I'm here.
Okay. So, tell me straight. How's it going, boys? How's it going?
Fairly decent. I'm pretty good.
Taking it easy?
I kind of disappeared for a while with the casts because I got like super swamped and like random shit that I had to do. But I'm hoping now I'm back for a while. So.
Yeah, I kind of missed you guys in the last one.
Yeah, same.
Is it? Yeah.
I haven't had no work. Hold on.
But, I mean, yeah, you know, I'm about to move out. And so,
Sam.
yeah, and my stuff is all out of my room. There's nothing left. I'm currently set up in my garage.
Oof.
Dude, same. Like
My entire PC.
Everything I own is in boxes. Except for, like, I have a laptop. I don't have a PC, so I'm mostly fine with setup.
I'm buying a laptop tomorrow, actually.
Just a laptop.
Yeah. Well, I need it for classes and stuff, and I figure I'm gonna go visit Max and Lucas on my way.
Yeah. Where'd I get it?
Gang. Okay. So, our topic today, as suggested, I can't words, as suggested by Adam, is aliens and paranormal stuff. So we'll be talking about aliens and ghosts. So first of all, I think I should ask, do you guys believe in aliens?
Yeah.
There's no way they don't exist. Like, there's just too much out there, you know?
Yeah, you got that right. I mean, like,
It's probably aliens who dropped down the fucking coronavirus on us. Let's be real.
Jesus, man. This is good. Well, I mean, technically,
Either
if you
that,
think
or
about it,
they just handed it to China.
if you think about it,
They just handed it to China.
controversial
Like, oh, we don't
statement
need
here, but didn't, like, even if we did get it from China, didn't aliens give us the virus?
Pretty much, yeah.
Technically.
Yeah, aliens to the United States, I guess. Yeah. So why do you think they would give us the virus then, if they gave us the virus?
I
Just
think
to
they're
kill us?
testing us, man. I don't know. I think we failed them. Like I'm Catholic, but like, so I don't want to be like too far away from my religion. But let's say if there's like a possibility, aliens created us as like a fuck around species, we might have failed them. Look at all the shit that we're going through.
That is deep. Okay, imagine we're like, we think that we're in a huge planet and whatever, but what if we're just like, I saw this on a TV show. It was Love, Death, and Robots. But imagine if we're just like in one of those aliens' fridges, you know, like we're just sitting there, but they left the fridge door open so our world is warming up.
Oh yeah. I really like it.
Jesus. Yeah, it was a good episode. But yeah, I mean, what if we're just like just in a tiny universe and these dudes are just like looking at us like, Jesus, man, what did we do?
It happens.
But like, if that was also the case, I'd be like, we definitely. Oh man.
Well, we do. They, like, okay, so like, so like the world's so crazy right now that literally the government. Okay, so we're going through all this shit like with the country and stuff. Literally, the world's so crazy right now that the U.S. just like puts this statement out that we have vehicles from other planets, not made on this Earth. We have no clue what they are or who made them, but they're there, and they just put that on us just because. Hold up, I'll pull it up. Literally, I saw this.
I mean, it was less of a statement and more just like the CIA or whatever, the FBI. They're just like, well, no, probably not the FBI, but they're just like, they just saw these pictures and they're like, yeah, declassified. They just give them to the public. They're like, take it. I don't know. I guess the media just didn't see it. They're like, yeah, okay, whatever.
Or they just didn't want the public to see it. I don't know. I don't trust anybody anymore.
Have you guys seen this movie? It's called They Live. It's like a really old, kind of like 80s, maybe 90s, early 90s movie.
I've definitely heard of it.
It's okay. I watched it out of just like a fever dream type of thing. Like I wasn't even like just consciously watching it. I just watched it because there was nothing else I wanted to watch. And so I watched this movie, and it's about these like these aliens that have kind of like taken over Earth and whatever, but you can't see them. And so this guy gets a pair of sunglasses somehow, and like the sunglasses allow him to see like that the aliens are controlling society, and he can see the aliens just like disguised as humans. And again, this is like a really old movie, and there's like famous wrestlers in it and stuff like that. So it's like an American, it's like an actual movie, but not a lot of people talk about it. So I watched this movie out of just like some random impulse, but for some reason I've used this movie as like so many examples in just my life. Because I was like, I'll just be talking to somebody, I'm like, oh, you know, this kind of reminds me of this movie, you know, that this movie from the 80s. But no, so like, imagine if it's like that, Adam. Imagine like, imagine the aliens control society.
Probably, dude. There's so much stuff happening right now, like 2020, the freaking virus, the freaking forests in Amazon are burning down. Why not just have aliens come over and just probe us, you know? Like,
yeah.
Why not?
I mean,
throw in some like atomic like waste in there, like, come on.
What if they've already have probed us, you know? What if they're just like sitting there like, well, okay, so
all doctors. Okay, think about this. Every baby, their temperature is taken anally the first time they're born. It's like the most accurate way to find the temperature at that time, you know? And like, you're not gonna stick something in a baby's mouth as soon as they like are born, you know? So
Jesus Christ, I did not think this conversation would go here.
Every person that goes to doctor school, they're there for like 11 years. Every person who's a doctor, OBGYN, all that stuff. They learn from aliens how to stick the probe up. And we're all
dang,
and we have no clue.
That's just like a freaking family physician. He's just in there like, he like goes to the phone. He's like, nurse, I gotta make a call. And he goes, like freaking subject 277785773 has been like acting up. He's got a sickness.
No, yeah, and think about it. What if they stick it so far up in you that the hernia test, when they have you cough and like push on your stomach, that's making sure that the probe is stuck in there, right?
Oh God, man! Do you know I had to kind of have a? Do you know I had a hernia test? It's like super weird. Sorry, this is getting a little personal, but so okay, I have kind of a six-pack. It's more like a crack pack, but you know, it's something. But so halfway through my cross-country season, this year, actually, I think it was this. Well, was it this year? I think so. Like earlier, it was like 2019 fall. So I'm running, and then I look down. I'm like, holy, something's wrong. So on the left side, the first two, there's like a muscle that has bulged out in between the two abs, and so now I have a 5-pack.
Oh, I remember you talking about this in AP Gov.
Yeah, and now so like, if I look at it, it looks like there's just like a bulge there, and so I got. This is like really gross, but maybe this is like the aliens. They sent like the Gretchen of aliens to do this. But I go into like the doctor's office, and like, so I was expecting like a doctor to like poke around, you know, and do the test with gloves on.
Right.
But no, dude, they call in freaking Glorp Norp, the ugliest alien there is, the ugliest alien nurse ever. She comes in. Her hands are disgusting, by the way. They're just gross. Like if you go to shake someone's hand, this is the type of hand that you shake instantly and then let go of, you know, like uncomfortably.
And then go sanitize.
Yeah, exactly. So this lady's like, "All right, turn on your side," and she's like poking me around, and I'm like, "Look at," and my mom sees this, right? She sees the freaking disgusting hands and everything like that, and she's like giving me like a sympathetic face, and I'm just looking like I want to die. But anyway, yeah, so maybe my probe is just like stuck in a different place, but they said like, no, that's just, there's nothing there, you know, it's just a muscle. And I'm like, Jesus Christ. I cannot have a 6-pack, and I'm probably betting it's because of probes.
You guys definitely sound like conspiracy theorists, for sure.
Well, I'm not into
dude,
conspiracies, but
this is what this podcast is about.
I mean, yeah, I guess I can agree with that. I mean,
I'm not.
it
yeah.
would be funny if you couldn't get a 6-pack because you had an alien probe.
Jesus. I mean, could you imagine?
I'm just saying, I wish that
Oh well,
really funny.
I'm not big on I'm not big on a lot of conspiracy theories just because of how insane they sound, you know? Well, I mean, a lot of them just like very small details, but I mean, Adam just blew my mind right there, and I'm like looking at this like failed ab, and it looks big enough to hold a probe.
It's fucking aliens.
Oh my god. But shoot, where were we at? We were talking about aliens, we're talking about probes, and we were talking about doctors. But ultimately it was down to, do we believe in aliens? And I think from Adam I got a yes.
Yeah, no, I believe in aliens.
Yeah, and Kyle
Absolutely.
too. I mean, it's just like, it's impossible to think of an existence where aliens would not exist. And actually, Adam, you know, you were talking about the media kind of not sharing the UFOs or whatever, but do you remember this? It was like early 2020, I think. It was either early 2020 or late 2019, where scientists found like bacteria in space,
Yeah,
or something like that. And then
they
they
find stuff like that all the time. Like there's stuff on Mars, so like life can exist in weird places like that.
And so like they said this, and they're like, yeah, we found it, but I legit only saw like one article or something like that on my feed about it, and then everything else was just the election and whatever else. I'm like, jeez, man.
No, yeah, everybody hides everything nowadays. Like you have to dig like real deep to find like news articles like this. Like so the news articles that I found, like when I was like researching this a little bit. So like I originally like saw this on my Instagram feed, like Joe Rogan posted it, because Joe Rogan's awesome. He's like, buckle up, kids. And I was like, respect. And so I was researching this, and you literally have to go to like the 3rd page on Google to get anything like worthwhile, like on aliens. It's ridiculous.
I mean, everything from the, well, okay, I feel like the media, you know, even if the aliens were controlling the media and whatever, I feel like it's just becoming irrelevant now.
Yeah.
Almost, because like, I mean, yeah, sure, you get information sometimes, like the Lebanon bomb, or not bomb. It wasn't a bomb for that. The explosion, for the Lebanon explosion. Like we all knew about that pretty instantly, but at the same time, there are so many, like, if you're talking about something like aliens per se, everything, there's so many articles and just crazy stuff that's online that you can't even like, it's like, I don't know, is there fact, it's like Schrodinger's cat. I watched this guy, it was like, we were talking about, or the guy was talking about Pokimane and whether she has a boyfriend or not,
Yeah,
God forbid, but he's talking about Schrodinger's cat, and so it's like, it's either factual, or, this is like some deep quantum physics stuff too, it's either factual or non-factual, but it could also be both at the same time.
Yeah, it's ridiculous. Dude, the coolest show ever that like I ever watched that did not last long enough was Joe Rogan. It was like Joe Rogan tries or like questions everything or something. I'll look it up real quick. Such a good show. Like he literally did so much stuff on like aliens and weird stuff. Like what are the chemtrails or whatever? How like they would control the weather when the planes would fly by and make stuff like that. It was such a good show. It was so interesting. And he did like all kinds of stuff like this. Yeah, Joe Rogan questions everything. It only lasted like 2 or 3 years or something like that, but it was such a good show. And this one it only lasted 1 season, and it's probably because Joe Rogan like uncovered something he wasn't supposed to. And like, so on one episode he goes to like Area 51, and you literally cannot even get up to like you like if you're like 500 yards away from like the entrance, like you'll have like the guards come greet you. It's crazy how like locked off it is.
And then Mr. Beast goes up there with a camper and spends the night.
No, so have you ever like read about like Bob Lazar and all?
No, I have not.
Okay, so Bob Lazar was a guy and he worked there. He was what did he he was an engineer. And he got recruited to work there like when he was real young. And let's see. Yeah, he was for terrestrial technology, and it basically like it was a device that made its own gravitational pull. So like when you see like on the movies where like alien spaceships will like fly around like almost like a laser pointer on a wall, like how when you jiggle it and you like, so it was like a device that would do that, except for a like craft. And so he shared it with a friend or something, got kicked out of all, like everything. And I guess like he went up there to like one of the hills, and like if you stay there like long enough, you'll be able to see like some of these crafts go and zoom around in the sky and shit, and all kinds of crazy stuff like that. And all he did was like see the craft, him and a group of people, and they got barraged by guards, he said. I can't remember where I watched the interview of this, but yeah, it's crazy how like protected this stuff is. And like I don't know why, if like I know there's a lot of people who would like flip the fuck out if they found out like there was aliens and they're way more advanced than us, because that's just, honestly, that's terrifying. Like if they could just come in and just blow up our planet like the fucking Death Star or something. But like if they're there, why not tell us?
Right. And what's the deal with Roswell? So okay, I know there's like a ship crash and whatever, but so my brother went to Roswell on his way back home because he was visiting, and he stopped there, and there was like no tourist attractions. It was just a bunch of like people who had like their own little home gift shops, and like so this magnet he bought for our home, it was like homemade. It was like made out of clay and painted. So it's like, do you think they're like blocking tourism and stuff like that there? Like, well, I don't think they're blocking tourism because you're allowed to go wherever in America, but I'm saying, like, do you think they're avoiding like, I don't know, big, like I want to say commercial business, like commercial tourism business there.
Oh, for sure. Because, like, could you imagine how many tourists would go there if, like, they were just like, oh yeah, see this UFO wreckage, you know? People would flip their shit to go see that.
I mean, I would.
They probably like still haven't uncovered everything. If there was an actual UFO crash, it'd kind of be just like how a plane wreck is, where like if you just go skate the field, stuff got launched in the ground and all kinds of stuff. So they probably haven't even like cleaned it all up, you know.
And if you're thinking like war zones and stuff like that, I mean, just like wreckage in general.
Yeah.
I mean, if you go to like those Civil War places, you might still find a bullet. You might still find like pieces of gun. I mean, I think somewhere in our yard. I mean, it might have been our yard or somewhere around Abilene. Ooh, Abilene. No, somewhere around here or some undisclosed location. So it's kind of a cowboy town, right? But we found a bullet. It was like a rusted like cap of a bullet. And so we still have it, but I'm just saying, like, if you're thinking of that, people will go visit Roswell and they like might find like a glowing chip of something, and then right there you've got a plot to a Pixar movie.
Yeah, for real. No,
oh man,
just like the thing, like, I don't know. I feel like if the government, like, if they found a way to like finish what Bob Lazar was doing and re-engineer that, could you imagine how crazy shit would be? And like if they found out how to like just do that in like regular like vehicles, we'd literally be like the fucking Jetsons. But
there would be a lot of death.
No,
yeah,
for real.
I mean,
like,
if you're in a vehicle that can like generate its own gravity and move around like you said, like a laser pointer, do you imagine, just think about how many G's you're experiencing moving that fast? That's like a lot.
oh no,
I mean, you'd be like, your cheeks would be pulled all the way back, just like driving like a few feet, you're just like, because you'd be like zip 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 like instantly.
It's its own gravity. Maybe.
Well, of course, and we're just guessing. I mean, we're not like we're not saying like, oh, this is how it's gonna be. I mean, I don't know, they probably figure out a way to regulate how much speed you're going and stuff like that. So it would be like the Jetsons, but
I don't
know.
I'm just saying, this is why I want to be in like the Space Force, because I feel like if anybody was gonna get to use that technology first, if we came up with it, it'd be them. Just want to put that.
Yeah. Oh, well, I mean, this isn't really aliens or anything like that, but have you heard of like the robotic suit programs in like the United States military and the Russian military too?
Oh, like the exoskeleton shit?
Yeah.
Dude,
that stuff is
so cool.
That stuff is fun. I like reading up on that stuff. But okay, anyway, let's get back to aliens and stuff like that. So we believe they exist. So do you think that they're on Earth right now?
There's probably some, if they exist. I don't want to get like too far ahead in that stuff, but if they exist, they probably like infiltrate just about every government.
Well,
like, they're running this, like this shit show that we have. I swear.
So I've got two.
I wouldn't be able to, because it is such a shit show.
Yeah.
I'd say that we're 100% running it.
I
true.
don't know.
Well, okay, so I've got like 3 ideas that I just made up. Okay, so first of all, so you said the coronavirus is like a test for us. So imagine if like they showed up to Earth, right? And they're like, okay, so we want to see how strong this race is. Let's give them a level 1 threat. Just drops it, and we're like scrambling out of control. He's like, Well, so there's that idea, right? So that they're just testing us, and they're clearly just collecting data on what we're doing, right? I mean, we're all inside, so it's not like if everybody would. Well, actually, that's probably a lie. We're probably not all inside, are we? So they're basically just probing us on that sort of idea. But what if what if they were controlling the place, right? They were controlling everything, and then they just decided to leave, and then 2020 is like 2020 happens. You know, they decide to leave, and then everything goes bad.
I mean, no, but like, what if they're like they've been orchestrating humanity for like forever, you know? Like, cause like there's been like weird skulls found in like all like every human civilization, like all the way back to, like, yeah. Well, no, like Indiana Jones, like as crazy as that story is, there's actually basis for that. Like there's been like skulls that are like a little bit bigger than like an average human skull, or like a little bit longer, bigger eye sockets, you know? Because that's where the whole basis of like the stereotypical alien like head like look comes from, is those skulls.
Yeah. I mean, there has to be a reason why we come up with that image, right? When you think of an alien.
Yeah. But like, what if like they've just been like orchestrating like every civilization in a certain way, trying to like, maybe they're not like trying to like kill us or some shit like you would think. Maybe they're just trying to orchestrate us in like the right direction. But right now they're really failing.
Yeah, but okay. So before we get into like the whole idea of existence and aliens taking over and stuff like that, so I've watched a few like Star Talks with Neil deGrasse Tyson and stuff like that, and they've kind of touched on this idea. So if there are aliens far out, like why would they have the idea to like destroy other planets? Don't you think if you were another species, don't you think that you would also be like have the same mindset as us, like go maybe explore, you know, and like if you find another intelligent species, you know, you'll like, oh wow, if it's intelligent enough, we can try to communicate with it.
Well, what if they're too much like us and like we come over from Europe and start slavery and shit?
Oh Jesus!
You know?
Freaking.
You see what I'm saying though?
Freaking
Like-
Glorpamax from
Or
Planet
their planet-
X53 becomes my daddy.
They're just like, let's say their planet's like starving, and that's why they're sent out looking for a new place to inhabit. Like we would have to in a few years, in like
Jeez.
a couple centuries or so.
I mean,
You know?
yeah. Mm-hmm.
And they just want to like get our planet down to like for like its raw resources. But also, like, what if like I said, they're just like kind of like pushing humans along to maybe form an alliance somewhere down the line? I don't know.
I mean, you do bring up that point, and now that I'm thinking about it, why haven't the world leaders why haven't they just gone like, yeah, let's just, you know, world peace, right? If somebody's out of line, we'll just replace them. Sorry,
Yeah.
that doesn't sound completely unethical, but my God.
Yeah. Well, the reason if you look at like Nazi Germany, it's like the greatest example of like someone who could have been like in like cooperation with aliens, because like Germany in like the early 1900s, like Nazi Germany, like they had Nazis and all, but also their scientific advances were like some of the craziest in the world at that time. Like
They were super unethical though.
No, but like they had jets. Like they didn't have airplanes. They had jets in World War II.
Mm.
Like their technology was so far ahead of ours, and if like, let's be real, if Hitler wasn't an absolute like crazy dude, Germany probably would have won the war, because their technology was so far ahead of its time.
Oh, dude, you don't want to, like, if you want some dark internet surfing, you know, if you're just like late at night and you just want to waste your, well, not really waste your time, just like explore this whole rabbit hole thing, you look up Nazi experiments, dude, it gets crazy. Like the fact that like you'll see they experiment on twins because like they're the exact same, you know.
No, and then there's a town in like South America where a lot of Germans like escaped, and it's called the City of Twins because like a bunch of people there are twins. So like the doctor like figured it out or something.
Speaking of South America, what's up with the Brazil? What's up with the Brazil memes? Can anybody explain that?
From what I heard, it's just because Brazil's kind of That's it.
I keep seeing this memes where like SpongeBob was getting dragged by something and he's like, "No, you forget. I'll never go with you." And then like it says like "Welcome to Brazil," and he's like, "No!" Freaking people just get it. Like one guy, I don't know if they like photoshopped him or whatever, he jumps into like the water and he just disappears completely, and and the caption was, "He's going to Brazil." I guess Brazil is just synonymous to hell now. But we're talking about aliens, right? So I mean, is there anything else to expand on with aliens? Because I mean, we also got to talk about ghosts.
Well,
Adam, you got anything for us?
For ghosts? Ghosts gotta be
No,
real
for
good.
aliens. For aliens. We gotta wrap up aliens first. Kyle, were you gonna say
Aliens?
something?
Oh,
yeah. There's my stepdad thinks there's the possibility of aliens having a hand in the extreme advancement of human technology through like the 1800s to now.
exactly. No, because when you look at like so like the first like civilizations, and then you look until about like 1700, just like the lack of like there was innovations, right? But they weren't like crazy innovations. And then you get to like 1800 and it gets a little bit quicker. And then you get to like 1900 and it's like everything just booms with innovation. There's like the atomic bomb, the like electricity, everything comes after 1900.
So do you think we're slowing down now? That we're getting closer to what they had?
Well, I don't think so because we haven't got the anti-gravity machine yet. But when we get that, that'll
True.
be pretty
Well,
positive.
but you've noticed there hasn't been any huge innovations recently. You notice that?
No, yeah, everything's slowed down.
Maybe just because of COVID, but yeah.
No.
So like when you think about that, so you said like 1800s and stuff. Think about like ancient Greece, right? There's no way those dudes can create up like just like you're sitting in like a loincloth, or you're like, right, you're sitting in like a toga, you're just sitting there with sandals walking around, and you're just like, oh shoot, modern calculus.
Exactly.
Oh shoot, trigonometry.
No, like something had to be handed off from something. That or humans are just a lot better at things than I thought they were. You know?
Which could definitely
We're not giving us enough credit.
That could definitely be possible, but like I don't know. I think there was I think
state of things, it's hard
I think there was definitely some outside force just kind of shoving us along.
I mean,
I don't know.
Okay, so what, like, alright, so there's a lot of portrayals of aliens, stuff like that. Oh, sorry, Kyle, were you saying something?
Nah, I was basically
Okay. So there's a lot of portrayals of aliens and stuff like that in media and stuff like that. So what do you think would be like the worst type of alien to be here?
The ones from
Like
Aliens
if something. Yeah, I was literally just thinking about that.
Acid saliva and eat people. Like, dude, that
Dude,
would be the
they're
worst
so
case
freaking
scenario.
freaky.
If I saw that thing out in the wild, I would literally shit and piss myself. I would cry instantly. I'd be
And
so
then an
scared.
alien will come out of your stomach.
Exactly. That is the most terrifying thing ever. I wish I was alive in the time when that movie first came out, so like
Yeah,
I could
dude.
understand how like terrifying it actually was when people first watched that. Like,
I mean, it's like there's no other creature like it. You can't like, because you think about it, you're like, oh, just shoot it, right? Or like, oh, because it doesn't have a direct weakness, right? And
Exactly.
I think that's what makes it so great. Because like, have you seen the movie Mars Attacks?
yeah.
Yeah, that movie, it's like sound killed them all. It's like, okay,
Mhm.
well, but like the alien or the xenomorph, if we're using the correct term, that it doesn't have a direct thing. Like, yeah, everything kind of works, but not really. Like even the Predator, which is also another alien that I would not like on this earth, had a hard time fighting that thing. So it's like, jeez, man. But I think the best kind. What would be the best kind?
The best kind of alien? The ones from Scary Movie
Yeah.
4,
Yeah.
where they piss out their finger
Yeah.
and like they're the most. They're. Or,
Oh,
like,
and it's like, this is how we say goodbye. You kick each other in the nuts.
Oh yeah,
God,
they're like the most like aggressive thing ever. Like that'd be ideal, so you know that you're not gonna get killed. Like,
I think what's so funny about that movie, that's like, it's kind of like one of those jokes that gets unnoticed, right? Is when freaking the president, it's like the president, nobody's looking at the president, and he's like, I guess we're not so different after all. And then he starts peeing out of his finger.
yeah, yeah.
Like, what? God, I mean, there's so many places you can go with aliens. I mean, if you're looking for a plot, you know, for something, you know, like, I applaud movies and shows like Stranger Things and stuff like that for kind of going
Yeah.
out of that alien kind of niche market. You know, I've also been watching X-Files, so I guess I've been over aliened. But you know, I applaud them. But I mean, the alien is always such a creative field of like storytelling. You know. Because there's only so many places a monster can come from. Like Pacific Rim, that was a great idea, where it's just like a rift between, you know, between dimensions or whatever that spawns these monsters. But like other monsters, you know, they're just like, A, it's either a demon, or B, it's just like something that's lived there for a while.
Yeah.
You know, like there's not a ton of places you can go with that, but I mean, I'm waiting for like. Have you guys? Well, I mean, this isn't really an alien thing, but the SCP Foundation. Do you know what that is?
Yeah.
That is like, I love reading that. It's so fun. Like, you know, are they real? I don't know, but they're pretty fun. Pretty fun to read.
Well,
Adam?
nah, it's pretty obvious.
I mean, yeah.
At least some of them are.
Yeah. I mean, like if you catch the wrong one though, they're like really scary. Some of them are.
Oh, yeah.
Like particular like 096, like that one's really just kind of screwed. Well, the reason I bring this up is because I was thinking about monsters, and I like the image when I said that, the image of the Russian sleep experiment dude came in my head. I'm like, oh Jesus. But I mean, okay, I think we've come to a stopping point on aliens, unless Adam has anything to add. I heard him thinking. Okay.
Died.
Adam, can you hear us? No, I think he's been probed. I think the aliens are like, he's onto us. And so they just flipped the sleep switch on Adam. He just
Oh no.
he'll wake up in an hour and he'll just start like continuing on with what he was saying, and he'll be like, "What? Wait." Hmm. So ghosts. Kyle, do you believe ghosts exist?
Not necessarily, no.
Ghosts are kind of weird.
Yeah.
Oh, Adam, you good? I saw
Hello.
his little light flash.
Oh, he's back.
Hey, Adam's back.
Hey,
So the aliens didn't flip the kill switch.
sorry. The alien pissed on me out its finger.
Oh, ew. So,
You know
so
how
did
it
you
is.
want to add anything about aliens,
No, I'm good.
Adam?
No,
Alright,
I'm good.
So,
I'm good.
ghosts. So, ghosts.
Ghosts. I think like with ghosts, like they could I don't know, because like there's I think it's more the human mind tricks people.
Yeah.
Mm.
Because like if you notice more sightings, like the more they see sightings, it's like darkness, and like humans like way back in primitive times were asleep in darkness. But now that like there's more light sources and stuff, like you can go outside and be outside longer. So I feel like the mind keeps playing with itself because you're in your primitive state, you're out of your nature.
Yeah.
And so your brain's on full alert. So when you hear that thing over your shoulder, when it's just like your footstep on like grass or something, you're like, holy shit, something touched me, you know?
Yeah.
Well,
It's a
yeah.
sense of,
Yeah.
Yeah.
not knowing.
It's like that. You know how like if you see a spider, this is like a mind trick. You see a spider, and then like minutes later you'll feel like there's like a spider crawling somewhere near you
Yeah.
or on you.
Yeah.
You know, like your brain is like hypersensitive or something. So I guess it's like that. But I mean, also you bring up a good point. So if somebody sees a ghost or like quotes that they see a ghost, they'll like you notice how they'll have like multiple sightings, you know?
Mm-hmm.
Well, like that's the kind of idea. You either have a few or none. And I guess that kind of goes for aliens too, because you know it's always portrayed like somebody who sees a UFO says like they've been abducted and taken multiple times, you know. So I mean, they could be right, or they could be playing a trick on themselves.
I don't know.
I saw.
Some people who say that they've seen aliens and ghosts, there's probably some psychedelics involved. Just like, I don't know. But, I don't know, it could very well be true. Because I know if I like move into a house and, or like if I'm out looking for like a new house and they're like, yeah, some dude killed himself and like may or may not be haunted. I'm like, hell nah, not buying this house, you know? Like not even taking that
That's
risk.
true. Yeah.
Cause like if it is true and like I'm in bed one night and I feel some ghost like penis stick up my butt ass, I'm out. Yo, have you seen the movie A Haunted House? Where the dude
Yes.
gets like straight up tier 4 raped by a ghost?
Dude, I love the freaking. I love this scene where like they bring out their hood cousin, right? He walks in, he's like, "Where's all the furniture at?" And then just falls out. So random. But I mean, okay. So real thought here. So I mean, the brain has a ton of energy, like going through its head like all the time. Just a ton of energy flowing all throughout the body. So I mean. I think that ghosts could exist in the way that like kind of the essence of the human in terms of like energy being displaced could like interfere with like electronics and stuff like that. Watch as my thing cuts out. watch as I leave the call because of a ghost. No, but I feel like it can exist in that sort of sense. But I'm gonna ask you guys: do you guys have any like ghost stories? Or something that you can't explain?
Well, I don't know.
There's always
What-
that sense of like in the dark going up the stairs, like there's always something chasing you. You know?
Dude, yeah, you have to run up the
Not
stairs.
that there is,
Like-
but there always is.
like, bro, when I shut the lights off and walk upstairs, it's not a walk. Like, I'm on all fours sprinting my ass up the stairs. Like, I've almost fallen
In
down.
all fours.
Imagine,
Dude,
imagine, like,
have
running
you-
terrified from something behind you. There's nothing there, but like you think there's something, and then you fall down the stairs, whatever some imaginary monster is, and you're just screaming all the time.
Dude. Oh my god. Okay, so like I walked down the stairs when I was probably like 5. And like we used to have this little toy poodle. Like it's like this thing's like probably the size of like an ice cream bucket, like a large one.
Ah, good punt of the dog.
Yes, yes. And so it's like just sitting at the base of the stairs and all the lights are off and I walk down and I walk like I'm about halfway down our stairs and I see this thing's eyes look at me and I'm like, oh hell no. And I just walked right back up.
Oh, dude.
I didn't even go downstairs.
Dude.
And then,
Good
and then,
example.
and then,
So-
and then the dog proceeds to chase me, and I'm like, fuck, 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 and I'm like 5, screaming the F word. So naturally, my dad walks in. He's like, what the hell are you? Bro, it was bad.
Dude.
It's terrible.
Well, first of all, you guys know that hallway in my house from my living room to goes to like the bedrooms and the bathroom, you know?
Yeah.
Well, if you shut off the lights, that hallway is completely pitch black and you can't see anything down it like at night. So like I know you guys said going up the stairs, but like the light for the hallway, you kind of have to go like step 3 or 4 feet into the hallway to turn it on. So it's like freaking, if it's like late at night, I'm just like walking with my hand on the wall, just like, please don't let there be anything.
Please don't be.
We have,
Please don't be another head.
we we also had this toy. It was like a Nemo toy. Like it was like really, it was like when the movie came out. It was like this big plush Nemo, and it had glowing eyes. And it would say, "Hi, I'm Nemo," and like it would say that every time. You like every time you pressed its like fin or whatever. And but you know, it's in a house with like 4 boys, right? It's not gonna last very long. So, freaking, we kept like battering this thing around because it was basically just a bludgeon. It was just a weapon at that point. And so we knocked it around so much that like the thing separated from the button, so you couldn't just press the button and it would say that line or whatever. But the eyes would still glow, and the voice box was also screwed, so it'd sound like. But so the like the trigger, it didn't actually have a trigger, right? So it would just say that on the random. So like I would like, when we still had it, because we obviously got rid of it for obvious reasons, but when we used to have it, it would be like in a stack of pillows in the living room, and so you'd be walking. It would be like dark, you know, you're getting some water or something at night, and it would just go, like its eyes would turn on, it would go, it was like, oh shit!
Dude, I would be so fucking scared.
Report.
Oh my god. I would flip shit if that happened, bro.
Well, what would happen is you'd grab it and just like hit it against the ground so it would stop making sound. Like, I'm sorry, Nemo, but god dang it.
That would be so sad, cause like
Dad next.
you don't want to hurt Nemo because he's such a cute little character, but dude, I would fucking shoot that thing if it scared me that bad.
My god. But actually, boys, I do actually have two ghost stories, like 2 actual ghost stories in my house. They're pretty good. I mean, they're not like really scary stuff, but I mean, this is kind of like more mellow, you know. So my house was built around like I want to say like 1950s. So there's like a lot of things that are like obviously old, like some of the shelves and stuff like that are, and like everything, everything in our house is just kind of falling apart. Like you pull a like a handle on a shelf or a drawer, and it just kind of breaks off, and you're like, oh man. No,
Casually.
but so.
Handle.
I mean, it's like some cast iron, like it's pretty old. But but obviously the town we live in undisclosed location is it's pretty, you know, it's pretty old. It's got some like cowboy western history here. So, and that usually happened downtown, but like who knows what happened all the way out here, right? So the first thing I gotta say actually kind of goes with the cowboy thing. So when I was little, I used to be in this bedroom that I'm in now, but I would be situated differently. And so I was sitting in like a corner, and so if I looked to my right, I was on the top bunk. If I looked to my right, you could see the door, and it would open. You know, it's kind of on the wall where I'm at, or it's kind of on this side of the wall. So my head would be, you know, my eyes would be direct line of where the door opens. So when I was little, I used to get up a lot to go use the bathroom, so I didn't pee the bed, right, and get yelled at, because who wants to sleep in their own pee? So I would get up, and this isn't even like, yeah, this isn't sleep paralysis, right? This is like, because you know, a lot of people say they see. I was gonna keep going, but no, it's actually quite nice. It's quite therapeutic to sit in your own urine. Ugh, God. But you know, so they have sleep. So people say that they see stuff in sleep paralysis. You know, they see their demon, but I wouldn't be in sleep paralysis. I would be up and moving. So I would like sit up in my bed, and I would be like look toward the door, and what I would see it was like a split second. Well, not really a split second. It would happen in like a second's worth of time. It would look like a cowboy-looking figure. So he definitely as I'm remembering it now, he definitely had the cowboy hat and what I would imagine cowboy stuff on. Like I couldn't see a face, I couldn't see anything else, but he would like hold the door frame, like two hands on the door frame and look in. And then, like, obviously I would, like, I don't know why I just disregarded it, but I would, like, run toward it to see if somebody was there, and there was nothing there. And that would happen a lot. That would happen a lot. I know, well, I don't know if I was just, like, a crazy little kid or whatever, or I just didn't care enough because I had to use the bathroom. But when I went there, obviously, and I turned on the light, there was nothing there. So I just started to disregard it. It just became part of the house. You know,
Dude,
I was just like, okay, well,
like
that's happening again.
You probably had like Wild Bill Hickok just molesting you in your sleep for like 17 years.
Well, I mean... Christ. But, I mean, so that one's like, you know, it's kind of creepy, you know, but it's not too crazy. It's not like a huge ghost story, because I don't think anybody else in the house can corroborate that. You know, like, I think...
The town's own version, man.
I mean, maybe, but he never did anything. But this is where this is like my only ghost story that's kind of freaky. Like, kind of crazy, kind of freaky. So, everybody's in the house, and everybody is awake in the house, right? This wasn't too long ago. It was like, maybe freshman year of high school, maybe 8th grade, something like that. So we're sitting, everybody's awake, you know, my dad's watching TV, so is my mom and my little brother, and then me and my other little brother were like, I think we're like messing with Nerf guns or something like that. And then in my mom's bedroom, which is on the other side of the house, there was like a large smashing, like as if somebody just took a glass vase and smashed a window with it. It's like huge crash. And so we're like, holy crap, what was that? And so we run in, nothing there. Nothing changed. Like nothing moved. That's it, man. I mean, like, we ran in, and there was like 3 people who heard it, right? Like my mom, me, and my little brother. We ran in, nothing happened. Nothing broke. And
Was it outside?
I don't know if that's good. No, we checked outside, nothing.
That's wild.
It like, but it sounded like it was in the house, cause like, you know, if you've ever hit something or dropped something in a house, like, you know, you kind of feel it in the walls or whatever. Yeah, so like we kind of felt it in the walls, so it sounded like it was like a bottle, or like imagine a mirror falling, right? Like a mirror on a sink falling and crashing. I mean that's probably what it sounded like, but that's kind of what we heard, and so we ran in there, nothing. It was
Wild Bill Hickok got pissed because you wouldn't play with him.
Wild Bill Hickok got pissed because we were playing with Nerf guns and he wanted to play with real guns. No, I stopped taking peas in the middle of the night. Instead, I just didn't go to sleep. I'll catch that bastard.
Nah, that's scary shit. Stuff like that.
Oh.
No, dude, as a kid, I believed every fucking thing. Like, I was so scared of everything.
Yeah, hell, my parents were the kind of parents who let their kids watch scary movies.
My parents didn't give a shit what I watched.
Well, I mean, I never really watched scary movies. Well, because I never found an interest in them. Like, I'm watching them now just because, like, I like the horror element, you know? The horror element. No, but... but, I don't know, I think the most... ironically enough, because we're doing this podcast now, I think the scariest movie I watched as a kid was Alien vs. Predator. And like the Alien movies, and I was like, oh god.
Yeah.
Like,
no, like I don't even
like, you know, there's some scary movies, you know, and but man, that screwed me up.
I watched
Straight up. But okay, I also have like a paranoia of street lamps at night. Like, it depends on like the certain one, but have you guys ever noticed that in scary movies or whatever, there's always a different colored street lamp for your different type of hazard? You know? So like, so if it's like a kidnapper, or if it's like somebody who's gonna murder you, it's gonna be under like an orange street lamp. You know, and then, well, I've noticed this, if it's like under a white street lamp, then it's like, oh, then there's probably like a dead body or something like that. It's like a crime scene almost. And then under a green street lamp, there is like a monster or something that you're gonna see, right? Like a boogeyman type. Well, I don't know if you guys have ever noticed that, but that's what I've kind of pieced together from watching horror movies. But this is where my paranoia comes from. So in my backyard, like in the alleyway, there's a green one. in my neighbor's backyard, there's a white one. And then in the street, right outside my house, there's an orange one. So if I go to take out the trash, I'm gonna expect to see a murderer. If I go outside in the backyard to, like, I don't know, go investigate a sound or something, monster, right? I'm just gonna get murdered by like Slenderman or something. And then if I look out my kitchen window to my neighbor's yard, I'm gonna see like her dead body sitting over there, and I'm like, okay, oh god.
just go to all 3 one night. Just find everything.
just F it up, you know? Right before college, let's go.
Go dap
totally
up
chat him up.
Go dap up Slenderman.
What's up, Slendy?
And find your neighbor. Go find your neighbor dead.
Dead neighbor. Jesus Christ. Oh my god.
You dap up Slenderman, he's like, dude, go check out that one. Yeah, bro.
Some guys like you go to take out the trash and like this murderer's dragging a dead body. You're just like, oh man, put it in here. Throw it in here, man. We don't. Just so you know, message to everybody listening: the Juicebox Squad does not condone murder or hiding bodies.
Do not do the murder.
I do not want to hear a story about a Juicebox Squad listener turning somebody into a ghost just so that they can experience what we're talking about.
Turn into the juice. The Juicebox Squad is just.
Jesus. I mean, the cast of Scooby-Doo was onto something. No, but what were you saying?
Your lamp thing reminded me of an internet story where it was like a guy was having issues falling asleep, you know, and he found that
Yeah.
he was just trying to look around at something to stare at. What the hell it was. He was just looking outside and he was just watching two street lights pretty much, you know, and just staring made him helped him fall asleep and like made him really happy because he could sleep until he realized that staring at these lamps just helped him fall asleep every night. And then one night they're just gone. And then in the morning he goes to check what happened and there's no street lights there.
Oh, spooky.
So
Well, what color were they?
orange.
No, just kidding. Okay, actually, you know, so I worked at this restaurant that kind of has a sort of a historical background. Like it's been open really early. I mean that as in like, you know, it was back like cattle drive days almost, where it was open. You know.
Same.
Yeah, and so, but it like they moved it, but like the owner's daughter died, like passed away, and so many said that that place was haunted. So actually, and if you talk to some of the waitresses, one of the waitresses who works kind of like late and like puts stuff up, she says that she sees like chandeliers rocking and stuff like that, and I was never there for that long enough. I mean, technically I still work there. I'm still technically on the payroll, but they've never told me like, oh, you're fired or anything like that. So I don't know, I'm just kind of vibing I guess. Like actually on our graduation, somebody from that place texted me and they're like, hey, can you work for me today? And I'm like, but no. So anyway, I was walking home. This is like this crazy. I don't know if this was just luck that this happened, but if it was luck, it was pretty bad luck. But so I'm walking home. It's about like a 3-mile walk from work, and I'm just like, whatever, fine. And so I'm walking home, and so I walk by the park near our Burger King, which to the listeners that doesn't mean anything to you, but to these guys, yeah. So I'm walking by that park near Burger King, and there's a white lamp. There's a white street lamp above these two bathrooms that are kind of dingy at that park, and this was like the first red flag of the night, right? That white light was flashing. Okay? And white street lamps at night are just kind of bad enough, but flashing ones, my god. That's like horror. If you know anything about horror movies, that ain't good. So I'm like, oh, you know. Yeah, I'm like, oh, whatever. It's, you know, it's a crappy light, whatever. So I keep walking, and so I get to the other park in town, and there's a street lamp that's kind of hanging over the street, still white, and so I'm closer to my house now. And then that one starts flickering as I'm walking under it, and I'm like, oh god, you cannot. and then I'm walking, it's like I'm walking near the baseball field near that park, which is like I'd say like 2 blocks from my house. And so I'm walking, and then this is like something that almost made me pee myself, you know, because you guys have seen the second Stranger Things, right? Where like that cloud of red lightning and stuff like that. Well,
Yeah.
do you know what heat lightning is? I think that's what it's called. Yeah, well, heat lightning was all above my house. It was just like that red lightning in the sky. I'm like, oh my god. This is it.
This is the end.
Sorry, boys.
Oh
Yeah, and then we had this year, so... But... I mean, you know, paranormal stuff, I love talking about this stuff, because, you know, I'm a pretty big sci-fi geek, you know, going into robotics, so, I mean, I gotta love it. So, you know, I love all this stuff, so, it's good fun, you know, but I think we're coming up on our time here. So, final thoughts, boys, on aliens and ghosts?
Ghosts for me are real. Aliens for sure.
I don't want to close the door on any possibility to anything, honestly. Like, shit's wild. And
Like, don't get me wrong, I was super paranoid about monsters as a kid. But, like, I always knew they were real.
yeah. I don't know. I feel like with like, to get back to like the horror movie stuff, like I can't, like I used to watch horror movies like all the time, but like I just can't watch them anymore because they're all so similar. But it's really refreshing when a movie like Us or like Get Out comes out, because it's just different, you know. I really enjoyed the Us movie. That movie was so good. Have you guys seen it?
No, not yet.
Which one is Get Out?
They're both by Jordan
That's
Peele.
Get Out's the one where he visits his his girlfriend's parents, right?
Oh yeah,
And then, yeah, the like, crazy racists. Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean,
you know, I was thinking about that movie the other day. Like, I never watched it, but I was thinking about it. I was like, that movie is, like, okay to make, you know? But, like, it's a little iffy. Because, like, I feel like it would be
yeah.
understandable, like, if, like, everything wasn't, you know, that way already. But, like...
I mean, a lot of those movies, those like ones that are like interesting or different takes, they kind of require a certain set of happenings, like a certain set of things that happen, like that are very, very specific. Like I believe in Us, didn't it take place in like someplace in California?
Mm-hmm.
Well, I think that's because my brother told me. He said the only reason that could happen is because that place doesn't allow guns. And I'm just like, well, maybe, but you know.
Dude,
and then like,
honestly,
I don't know.
it's freaking terrifying.
Yeah, no,
like that's
like,
one of the few movies I've been like legitimately scared. Because like if you're staring back at yourself, spoiler alert for anybody who hasn't seen Us, if you're staring back at something that looks exactly like you, just completely just like crazy eyed, and it's like about to stab you with pruning shears, dude, I would cry. I would be terrified. That's like worst nightmares. That's like a bad trip on acid.
You know, I think what's actually tripped the horror scale in my, which we could talk about horror movies and stuff like that later, but I think what's really tripped the horror scale in my brain is elongated limbs and unhinged jaws.
Those are really weird. Have you seen the movie Legion?
Because like, okay. Yes, oh my god, I was just thinking of that. You know the ice cream man? Jesus, dude.
The dude who turns into like a spider. It's like, what the hell?
What's that one with the old lady who
D-
turns into
no.
like a snake thing?
Yeah, that's Legion.
That's that
Oh
one.
well,
Yeah.
well, Legion in Legion, the old lady turns into like a demon. She starts crawling on the ceiling, and she
Dude,
like
that's
eats
so
beef
weird.
raw and stuff like that. Dude, okay, no. So if you're thinking true horror, right? Horror and fear is like not being able to control anything, and like, you know, it's all like almost like the fear of the unknown, like Kyle said earlier. So I feel like thrillers make better horror movies, anyways, because like, yeah, you know, Paranormal Activity was a buzz for a while, but really, it's just a bunch of things moving around, and then like. Maybe The Conjuring was scary. I don't know. I never saw The Conjuring because I never had the.
Those
I never
movies-
just.
see,
I never felt
everybody's-
like I needed to.
Everybody said those movies were really scary. They're really just jump scares, and I hate cheap scary movies.
Yeah.
You know, like a jump scare is
Yeah.
just like the cheapest of cheap to me.
You know what? You know what movie sucked?
What?
That was actually scary. It was Oculus. Have you ever seen that one?
Yes, that movie's actually like
With
the
the freaking-
concept. The concept of that movie is terrifying.
Dude,
Is-
okay. There's a scene. There's a scene where she goes to bite an apple, and it shows that she bit through a light bulb, and so she like starts bleeding and screaming. That scene screwed me up.
Yeah.
Because she didn't actually bite the light bulb. She just bit the apple. But my God.
No, stuff
Okay,
like that is like
but-
really good for horror movie, not jump scares.
Yeah, no, just like that idea that like something might be hiding in your mirror. Like if you're like looking in a mirror and you see something behind you like that, that's like the Paranormal Activity stuff that like you could like identify with. Cause like you can't say that you've never like looked in the mirror and like thought you saw something like on your shoulder or something just flipped out, you know?
Oh.
So like
And like
if
that
there's just,
mind
like-
game where. Sorry, yeah, the mind game where like your brain tells you that you see something. Like I saw I think it was a TikTok on somewhere on Instagram where it's like, you know, you're playing video games and out the corner of the eye and it shows somebody in like black attire just run across the screen. You know,
Yeah.
that thing. But what were you saying, Adam? Sorry.
No, yeah, no, that's exactly what I'm talking about. Like, that's why Oculus to me, like the actual movie wasn't too scary, like all in all. But like the concept of that movie, where like a mirror, and then like you like turn evil kind of in the mirror, and like evil hides in a mirror. That's kind of
Yeah.
creepy.
I mean, well, I mean, a horror genre that I've started to like actually kind of fear, like, you know, so a lot of new horror movies. Sorry, there's an airplane or helicopter flying over my house, but a horror like a lot of like horror movies kind of take place in like the 80s and stuff like that, just because there's
Mhm.
like a lot of limited technology. It makes for a better story, but I think what I love is like smartphone horror. Have you ever, like, I don't know if you know what I'm talking about, but like, I'm not necessarily talking about Unfriended because that movie kind of balls, kind of lame. But like one example is like of this game. I don't know what it's called, but like you're like walking through a graveyard, and the only way you can see the ghost is using your smartphone camera. But even that ghost had like an unhinged jaw, and it like it would hide from you and stuff like that. That game screwed me up. But like, I would want to see iPhone horror. Like somebody like, you know, you get your one of your friends goes missing, and so they like almost like Blair Witch, but as if they can't see the ghost without the phone, you know?
Oh, dude, a really good, like one of the best like horror genre movies that's like modern that I've seen in recent is Invisible Man. That movie is actually really good. You guys see that one? Yeah, the Invisible.
Yeah, it's
Okay,
got the girl
so-
from Mad Men, right?
Yeah, I think.
Yeah.
Okay, so spoiler alert to anybody who hasn't seen it. I'm not gonna like ruin the whole movie, but like, so instead of like so like the Invisible Man's like a person like there's a book about like the Invisible Man back in the day, you know, like it was like an legitimately like person who was invisible. That's what I thought the movie was gonna be about, but it's actually
Yeah.
this girl who was in a abusive relationship with like this guy who's like a leader in like the optics industry, and this guy makes like an invisible suit like with optical cameras and like color fixtures and stuff. And that that concept is actually terrifying because like that I could see that happening at some like camouflage, like with the military.
Yeah.
I could see that concept coming true at some point, you know. But yeah, you'd have to watch. It's a really good movie, actually. I didn't expect it to be that good. Really good movie.
Yeah. Well, I put it off because it just didn't look good to me.
No, it's really good. You gotta watch it though.
Okay.
I
Well,
was totally
uh,
like confused on the whole Invisible Man thing and like how it's supposed to be a horror movie because like you said with the book and whatever, I just assumed that the Invisible Man is like this cocky like almost like a Deadpool type character just because he's invisible, so he's cocky all the time, you know.
No.
Like have you guys seen the League of
Yeah.
Extraordinary Gentlemen?
Yeah,
I love
no,
that movie
no.
so much because the
Yeah,
Invisible Man
yeah,
just shows up.
that's what I thought. That's what I thought the Invisible Man was gonna be, but it's not that at all.
okay.
Yeah, I mean he's not really a ghost though.
It's actually like a really
Yeah, I know.
yeah. No, this guy.
Yeah,
No, this movie's like pretty cool actually. It's
Yeah.
just an interesting take.
But yeah, I suppose it is. Suppose it would be.
But
I mean,
yeah,
I don't know. I'm waiting for a refreshing ghost movie. I'm like, I don't know. You can't really do much with the ghost genre, but I'm waiting for something that's just like, you know, flips the script. You know,
yeah.
tries something different. But you know, so anyway,
Yeah, we're
I
coming up on time.
like you said, we should not close the doors on possibilities because literally anything is possible. I mean, we've still got a couple more months in the year, so I believe that there's going to be an alien invasion by the end, or something along those lines. But yeah, and ghosts. I mean, if you got stories, put them in the comments below. But yeah, so I guess we'll do our wrap up here. So thank you guys for joining us in this edition of the podcast. Go check out our Instagram, which is Juicebox_Squad, and if you go check that out, we also have a meme page. I have that linked on our current Juicebox page, so make sure to go check those both out.
We will be posted on the meme page. We haven't quite got to, but we will be.
And if you follow the Instagram, we will post alerts for upcoming podcasts like this one and stuff like that. So I mean, we don't have a Twitter or a Reddit or anything like that, but I mean, subscribe to the YouTube channel. We love you. We love every single one of you.
And spread the word on this cast, man.
Yes, spread the word. We love hearing from you guys. Please comment below. I've been waiting for so long to like read a funny comment or something on one of our Squadcasts. Nobody does it.
Okay.
But yeah, let's wrap this up.
Yeah. We love you guys. See you guys
Peace
in the
out.
next podcast. Squadcast.